What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
Chill out, dickwad.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy, and we're back with another video. Today we're going to do an Inarius T16 Bone Nova Necro build. Looking back at my channel, I covered this, I think, one of the first videos after getting to 1,000 subs, so very nostalgic for me. This is the starting set for the Necro in Season 29. I think it gets a bad reputation for being a shit set. I think it's absolutely fine to get you going. T16 we will crush. I mean, I'm not saying I'd play this over Bone Spear, but it's a very satisfying build to play. It's a lot of fun to just crunch stuff with your Bone Nova and do big explosions like that and blow up lots of monsters around the screen. And as I say, it's a starting set. This is like the perfected kind of gear. We've picked the best options, but none of it really is overly necessary. The hard bits to get you don't necessarily need. So Inarius, 2-piece don't care, 4-piece don't care, because we're going to do, of course, Gold Wrap, Boon of the Hoarder to make us invulnerable. 6-piece, 10,000% damage modifier. It's a flat modifier, it works for everything. So we talked about Corpse Explosion in the last video. This is kind of the main other way to play it, which is Nova. Now, the mod only works when you tag something with your swirling tornado of bone, so you can't blow stuff up from miles away, so you can't use Bone Spear with the Inarius Necro set. But the Nova radius is about the same size as the Bone Nado. So basically, if you can hit it with your Bone Nova, you're hitting it with your Bone Armor, you're hitting it with your Tornado, you're going to blow stuff up, which is pretty cool. Blood type blade, dead easy to get, 4 two-handed size in the pool. Nova deals a boatload of damage. More enemies in a small radius equals more damage, so if you get any kind of trash, you will completely vaporize it. Single target is quite weak, but we've got enough. It's only T16, so we are fine with that. Scythe of the Cycle, another up to 400% modifier on secondary skills. Nova is a secondary skill, so that is pretty cool. We do reduce bone armor every time we blam out a Nova though, so we do need to keep refreshing bone armor. You have to hit something with this, you can't just press the button. If you press the button, it just basically goes off. If it doesn't hit anything, then, well, you just got to wait for it to refresh. Has a little indicator on it. It's on a 10-second cooldown, so it's on pretty short cooldown, so that's not the end of the world. We're going to make Guardian set work for us. You're going to see this in a lot of builds next season, because obviously it gives you that doubling of main stat. In Season 29, Paragon is limited to 800, so we want to get as much main stat out of our gear as we can. Guardian set allows us to do that. I'm not going to put any main stat Paragon in. We should obviously have some points in here, but I just want to kind of show off the set in a bit more of a realistic setting, because obviously we've got an ancient weapon, I've got a primal offhand, we've got, I don't think any orgs, well, one, don't call me a liar, 85, and we've got a double crit amulet, so we've got some okay-ish gear. So, you know, your gear will be better than this if you keep farming, but also it's not going to look like this instantly, so that's why we've done the main stat Paragon out. Right. So you need a Rogue basically to wear the Guardians, because it is the 3-piece that gives you this double main stat bonus. So you're going to have to do some bounties to get that. Stewart's Greaves, of course, you always want as a Necromancer. You hit the teleport, you run around really fast, which is nice. You want to get some Death Nova damage on your boots. You really want Death Nova and crit on your helm, but again, obviously easier said than done sometimes, so we don't have it. For more damage, we've got the Crispins, flat 100% damage against slowed enemies, triple against CC'd enemies. Bone Armor is a really good source of stunning, so we can stun. We've then got the Crispins working so much harder for us. Amulet-wise, Haunted Visions is the best, because it allows us to have Perma Simulacrum. Simulacrums will also duplicate our Novas, so we can get an extra Nova. Just bear in mind though that like the outer portion of the Simulacrum, unless you've run through stuff with your Swirling Tornado of Bone, it won't be tagged for the 6-piece, so it won't blow it up, but anything, you know, kind of next to you, anything tagged will get decimated, which is pretty good. The offhand doesn't matter, it's a complete stat stick, so you just want Death Nova damage and crit on it. Cooldown is also helpful, as is resource cost reduction. But yeah, just any of them. You can have an Iron Rose, which is the offhand that does pair with Blood Nova, but you've got to have Siphon Blood on your bar. It's clunky as anything. I would much rather manually cast this. You can be much faster, and it's more satisfying to actually press the button and have stuff blow up. Because we've got to get everything close range to blow it up, because we have to tag it with the swirling tornado of bone, Brig's Wrath is of course a great choice. Uncursed enemies get sucked to the cursed location, so we've got Aura Frailty automatically applying the curse. This is increased by our gold pickup radius. Of course, we want to take an Avarice Band with the follower. Have I got one? Yes. So this will increase our radius as we pick up gold. That will get more dudes to us, which is of course always good. It works without the Avarice Band, but obviously the Avarice Band makes it much better. This is just a luxury item. It just makes stuff come to us, like get vortexed in, which is very nice, but you don't need it. So if you don't have a Briggs, you can certainly run a convention of elements. COE, incidentally, is about the same as having a Crispin's in a way. You don't obviously get the treble effect, but Necro's only got 3 elements, so physical damage for the Bone Nova, you get 200% when that is going for you. Haunted Visions, again, the build works absolutely fine without simulacrums. I would probably go with Land of the Dead Frozen Lands if I was to drop the simulacrum and I didn't have the amulet, because the amulet can be a pain in the ass to get. Reason being, the Frozen Lands will of course give us the triple Crispin's activation, which we really like, and it is a little bit of a get out of jail free card. If you sit there like an idiot and over spam your Novas, run out of essence, then you can pop the Land of the Dead. That would then, with the Devouring Aura, automatically consume the corpses and gives a load of essence. So killing stuff is basically our mechanism of getting essence back. We've got no generator in the build. As well as Dark Reaping, 2% essence per kill. Devouring Corpses, so when we kill stuff we get lots of essence, and that's how we keep it up. Now, we've gone for the Reservoir Room on the Simulacrum to double our essence, so we get 620. It's quite a big pool. We've got Overwhelming Essence on it again for more essence. Neither of them really are necessary. You can try Blood and Bone, that gives you an extra Simulacrum. That's a little bit like 50% more damage on single target because you've got 3 Novas instead of 2. I've been playing with Reservoir just to make sure that we don't ever run out of essence, but if you're comfortable with your essence management, then Blood and Bone will be the way to go, because it'll give you more Novas for single target basically. Blood Rush Molting, this is just to generate some essence, get us going if we need it. You don't need any toughness, you don't need any of the other runes at all. Rogue to make up bonuses, we've done Trapped, we've done Crispin's. Bane of the Powerful, it's just more damage, 20% increase after you kill your first elite. Yeah, I think that's it. Physical on the braces, crit on the braces, physical crit on your amulet. Nova, crit on helm, Nova on boots, Nova crit. Cooldown versus resource cost reduction is an interesting discussion. Cooldown is better for if you don't play the build perfectly, because bone armor is faster if you mess it up. Ideally, if you play the build perfectly, then a Topaz would be better, because that would just help you with your resource cost reduction. And that leads us on to some Paragon discussions for next season, because we can actually manipulate the 200 Paragon around. We don't have to put 50, 50, 50, 50 in each category. So if you're really happy with your bone armor application, you can forget cooldown and put it into crit chance and crit damage to give you more raw hitting power. If you're unhappy with the bone armor being the stumbling block and mistake you can make, you could take points out of attack speed, crit chance, crit damage, and pump it into cooldown, and then your bone armor will be back so much faster. Defense, none of this matters because we're immortal. And then in terms of utility, you can pump up area damage if you want. I'd say it's overkill, because the reason being is that area damage works with large groups of mobs. You get such a huge modifier for T16 off your blood type blade that I'm going to try when we get on the season to take it out of area damage, take it out of life per hit, and then pump it into resource cost reduction. Again, just allowing us a bit more leeway with the Nova spamming. Gold wrap in the cube, of course, to make us immortal. And yeah, this is not the fastest T16 build in the world. It wouldn't probably be my primary way of getting keys. I still think mages is going to be better, but it's still pretty fast. And it's fun to play, which is, of course, you know, certainly something to be said for. Just trying to think if there's anything else. So, bone armor is about the only thing you've really got to look out for. And even there, you can see on like a single target, it still does okay damage because it is only T16. How this will perform in the new game mode, it's probably not going to favour it too much because it works on density basically. You know, more density is generally quite good, so it might not be performing particularly brilliantly on some of the floors that have just got, you know, a few Rift Guardians. But provided they're stood reasonably next to each other, you'll probably still be fine with it. You know, you could augment this out and do a lot more damage with it. You know, it's nice and zippy and fast, which we like. Augments, as I say, will be more damage. I mean, if it was a season where you weren't limiting Paragon to 800, you might well get to the point where you could drop the Scythe of the Cycle for a Tragul's Corroded Fang, because that would be about half the amount of damage on the modifier, you know, going from 400 to 200. But what it does do is it allows you to not give a shit about your bone armor, because it lasts for 60 seconds and it doesn't get reduced by the Scythe of the Cycle mechanic. But yes, this is not bad to start off. I mean, obviously you won't have like this level gear at the start, but we've got plenty in the tank. You could also set up your follower a bit better for damage. I've just been really lazy making this video and not put anything on it, so yeah, that's something else. Let's see if we can get the boss on its own, just to show you what that would be like on a single target. So, okay, I mean we had the power pylon, but I mean it's like what, 40%. I think we one-shot that guy because of the triple slam from the Novas. So yeah, I quite like that. You can play this build on a Legacy of Dreams. It's definitely a possibility, but you will need everything as ancient. You would lose the Guardians bonus, which would be a bit of an issue, but you would get a lot of flexibility in terms of your slots. You know, you'd be able to pick an extra armor slot, you'd be able to pick all sorts of stuff. You know, like you'd be able to put squirts in here, you'd be able to put the shield and gloves, which would probably give you double damage as well. So Legacy Dreams version of this would be better, but it just takes ages to gear out. So yeah, I think this is a decent build to start off with. Fast, fun, and yeah, maybe it can get you going into mages if you want to run that for keys, because you want to just be a little lazier and not have to press quite as many buttons possibly, or you can use it to go off and gear into something else. Inarius I don't think is amazing for solo speeds. I'm probably looking to play Bone Spear at GR90 level cap, but for this kind of lower level stuff, yeah, this hits pretty hard, quite like it. I've been Filthy Casual, hope this video was useful. Take it easy guys, peace.